Hello, crypto boys and ghouls, and welcome back to the channel, Tales from the Cryptomancer, where we feature content on play-to-earn games on the blockchain, such as Splinterlands. And in today's video, I want to talk about the Nemesis cards of 2021. For me personally, these are cards that, when I see them across the battlefield in Splinterlands, I get a little pit in my stomach because my win rate seems to go down, and honestly, I'm a little jealous of these cards. I'd like to add them to my collection personally, and hopefully with time we can add some of these cards to our collection so there will be Nemesis cards for my opponents. So this is a follow-up video to the recent video I published here around carry cards of 2021, really talking about my favorite cards in Splinterlands and why I like them, and really the value that they bring to my teams. So let's go into the details here, and we'll start with fire. And my nemesis on the fire team that causes me all sorts of problems is Magnar. So Magnar here at 10 mana with taunt, with enrage, and with trample, if he gets going, it can be very bad very quickly. Super strong melee damage, good speed, very strong health. Yeah, this is not someone you want to see in the first position of the battle on the other side. So Magnar definitely is one of those cards that, if I could afford them, I would look to add to my collection in 2022. So my nemesis on the water team is Ruler of the Seas. This card is really strong. The blast magic damage is just so good. This is also why the Chaos Dragon in the new Chaos Legion card set is also good. Blast magic is no doubt super strong. In addition, if you have a leveled Ruler of the Seas, you're getting silence, you're getting swiftness, and this card, unfortunately, just does a lot of damage to me. I seem to get matched up against him a lot when I bring a magic team and my opponent brings a magic team as well, and the blast damage is really usually the differentiator in the match, which ultimately would cause my win percentage to go down. Now my nemesis for Earth is actually the Earth Elemental, and this card, so many times I would see him at the back of the lineup, and maybe at the front of the lineup there's self-healing flesh golem, and a lot of times I'll have a sneak attack play in place, and I might have 2 sneak attack units, maybe 3. And the problem with that strategy is when you have Earth Elemental at your opponent's back line, self-healing 8 health at max level here, while also dealing fairly decent archery damage, the sneak attack units typically, unless you have a sandworm, do not get through that Earth Elemental very quickly, if at all. And even with a sandworm, it'll probably take at least 2 or 3 rounds of the sandworm attacking just to get rid of the self-healing Earth Elemental. And if you have, for example, let's say 2 or 3 sneak attack units on your team, that's maybe 33% to 50% of your team that's pretty much doing nothing but bouncing off this Earth Elemental wall. So this card, for me, when I see it, I don't underestimate it. It's usually a good play by my opponent, especially when I'm using sneak, and it becomes a problem for me in winning games against Earth when this card is used. Now for life here, wow, this card is a pain in my rear. Crawless, when it comes to the life team, my win percentage against Crawless is not good, honestly. When I see this card, I am not happy. Crawless, even by himself or herself, as the case may be, I guess it's a her, would, even without Chancius, this card is so good. It's got magic damage, it's got melee damage, it's got shields, it's got health, immunity, flight with 3 speed becomes annoying, it's got self-heal. This card can literally stall an advance or basically an attack from a strong team just by itself. That's not even with other heals behind it or a repair. Crawless for me is probably my nemesis number one, and it's going to be a target card for me to add to my collection here in 2022. Now for the Death team, Lord of Darkness, what can you say? This card is beastly. If you see it in position 1 of your opponent's team when you start the match, you all are probably not going to have a good feeling right away off the gate here. So this card with Enrage, with Stun, Shield, Retaliate, what more could you ask for? This is a monster, literally, of a card. And yeah, I mean, when you see it in position 1 on your opponent's team, it's going to be a tough battle, no doubt about it. Now for Dragon, the Dragon Jumper, this card is so good. I wish I had it in my collection. Very high speed, with flight, with great damage, opportunity, and stun. What can you say about this card? It just it can single-handedly by itself tear up a team, and this card has cost me many losses over the last several months in Splinterlands just by itself. So this is certainly worthy of the Nemesis tag. And last, we have 4 Nemesis cards, the Chain Golem. This card is kind of funny, is there would be many cases where I really didn't know what I was playing. I would be like, why is this rusty Android causing me so many problems? I thought the rusty Android sucked. No, it's not a rusty Android. This is the upgraded, definitely 2.0 version of the rusty Android. This is the Chain Golem. So when you see what looks to be a rusty Android causing your team all kinds of problems in that number 1 position, it's not a rusty Android. Look a little bit closer. That's likely a Chain Golem. And this card is really strong with Shield, with Void, with Pierce, and Stun. This card is fantastic, and I hope to add it at some point to my collection. It is quite pricey, as are many of the cards we have mentioned here today, but this card certainly worthy of Nemesis title for me in 2021. So what are your Nemesis cards? What cards cause you the most grief? And what cards for each Splinter, if you had unlimited budgets, would you like to add to your collection to make your card stronger and climb the ranks in Splinterlands? Let me know in the comments below. So on your way out, please smash the like button. If content like this is enjoyable for you and you would like to see more of it, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, keep stacking those stats.